Beast. Okay, so this came out about a month ago, so I'm a bit late to it, and I kind of put it on hold because watching the trailers, I felt like I kind of knew what sort of movie it was going to be before I even saw it. This is about our main character, Nate, played by Idris Elba. He goes on holiday to Africa with his two daughters, but things go pear-shaped when a very vengeful lion crosses their paths, and it's a fight for survival. There's been many a film about humans trying to survive against a super predator, whether it be like a massive shark or a massive alligator or some wolves or a bear, whatever it will be. But credit where credit's due, this is actually very well made and very entertaining. Something noticeable early on was the camera work. It contains lots of long takes, which I'm a big fan of. I like it when there's not too much cuts and when the scenes are quite long and drawn out and the camera just sort of follows the characters here through action scenes or when they're exploring a new area. And it was very effective in action sequences as well, where, you know, maybe they're being attacked and the camera's like always darting, switching between each character, staying close to them, making it feel more intense. And it's also more impressive on the actor's behalf as well, because it's not a case of they read a line, there's a cut, there's a pause, and they say the next line. They've got to remember like whole sequences here, and I imagine maybe a lot of this was improv, possibly, but either way, it felt very seamless and I liked the way it flowed. The film did attempt to lay a foundation for Nate and his daughters and their slightly complex relationship, therefore allowing the endeavours they go through to help build that relationship. I think they did a good enough job with it. It's one of those, there's like tensions between father and daughter, you know, they don't get along that well because of past things that have happened, so there's that, but on the other hand, this is a 90-minute movie, so there's only so much time they can really spend on that side of things, and they can't really delve too much into it, but I think they do an effective way of helping us as viewers understand why there's this little beef between the family. And whilst it's not something that's going to get you super emotionally invested, it's enough to root for the characters and hope that they, you know, come out the other side unscathed. Idris was good as you'd expect, solid performance from him, you know, even when good actors are in mediocre or bad movies, they still stand out. That was the case for Idris here, although I wouldn't call this a bad movie by any means. There's also a character called Martin here, who's a friend of Nate. He was solid as well, you know, he was a likable character, and didn't have like a broad list of characters. It was kind of just like 4 people that you follow, and I kind of liked it. I preferred it for that. The daughters were good too, although sometimes their decision making was odd, as you often get in these types of movies. You know, it's not rare for a character to do something where you think that's stupid, don't do that. But there was a bit of that, but you know, it is what it is. But overall, I think there was decent chemistry between the daughters and Idris. It did feel like a family. Talking of that, Idris Elba's actual daughter was meant to be in this movie, apparently playing one of the daughters, but Idris said that he didn't feel like the chemistry was there on screen, which is quite funny, if true. I heard about that, I thought it was pretty funny, and apparently she didn't talk to him for 2 weeks. I don't know how much, you know, truth you can put in a story like that, but that's funny. Now, let's talk about the lions themselves. Here's the star. Yeah, they actually looked pretty good, you know, considering they were like CG. There were certain scenes where I'm like, is that actually a real lion? But then, because of what happens in the scene, you're like, okay, it's not a real lion, not like this real lion. He wants to go. But yeah, CG, sound design, all those aspects were very good in regards to the lions, and it made for some tense and entertaining scenes. And then this mixed in with the camera work that doesn't cut much, like it all flowed together quite nicely, I thought. Overall, this was a pretty decent movie. It was better quality than I thought it'd be, and it wasn't as goofy as I thought it'd be, despite the main antagonist being a lion who just has a vengeance against humans. But apart from that, you know, can't really complain. I think it was about as well done as you could hope for in a 90-minute lion action movie where, you know, Idris Elba is going to punch and kick lions. So, you know, what more can you really say? I would give this film I'm going to say 7 out of 10. I'm almost in between where 7 out of 10 maybe sounds too good for a movie like this, but then 6.5 sounds too harsh. So I'm going to say 7. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because I think it did what it needed to do well. It entertained me for 90 minutes. So 7 out of 10. In terms of the rewatchability rating, I probably wouldn't rewatch this. I feel like this is kind of one and done, but I think maybe if I was at home and, you know, I'd had a bit of scotch or some cognac and then this was on the TV late at night and I'm drunk, then sure, why not? Might be good entertainment in that sort of state. But yeah, Beast, it's worth a watch, but it's also one of them, I wouldn't say go out of your way at the same time, but it's decent. If you're bored and you want something to watch this. There's not much wrong with it. Thank you for watching. If you've seen Beast, let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.